I think I'm gonna play this from now on. I'm gonna
Yeah.
do our regular intro, every other one, and that intro, every other one. So
Yeah,
uh
no, I agree with you. I like the Japanese one the most, mostly because it fits so well with the Tates, and the lyrics of that song are just so dark. Apparently, it's like, yeah, no, it fits well. Whoa, what a catchy tune! Yeah, it's about offing yourself in Minecraft. It's like, oh, really? Oh,
Nice.
yeah, yeah, could have fooled that the heck out of me, man. How's everybody doing?
bit better. How about you
You,
guys?
you say you sound a little bit better, Jack. Dave, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well. Survived the hurricane. It's still like our power grid still goes like on and off repeated. If I leave, it's probably because of blackout. That just flicks on and off for some reason. I guess they're still doing a lot of work on the grid, which is causing some issues. That's been annoying, but overall no damage. So I'll be back to work tomorrow.
Nice. Yeah. Did you get hit too hard, or was it just kind of like yeah?
It was
It's
tropical storm force winds. And we
Mhm.
didn't get a lot of rain too. Like it was raining 2 days ahead of time. So like, oh man, if it drops a lot of rain, like we're gonna have some serious flooding. But
Yeah.
almost nothing once the winds came in. All that must have gone north because overall, like it's as good as it could have been for us.
Wow. Yeah, that's good to hear, man. I saw some places look like it got pretty fucked up. When I was down in
Yeah.
Florida, a couple weeks ago, it thankfully missed all where I was. And then when we were flying back, that's when it started to come in pretty good. But no, I'm glad you're doing well. Our buddy Hawk's doing well as well. I think he said he got back to his apartment. He said there was some flooding, but my understanding is I don't think it was too bad. And his old Glory Club had posted a picture of some of their members going out and doing like not charity work, but like kind of helping people clean up and stuff like that. I'm like, oh yeah, man.
There was. Did you see the article where it's like white supremacists are helping in hurricane cleanup?
Yeah. It's like, yep,
Oh
that's my boys.
no! Oh no! Patriot Front is going out and like what do they want people to say? Like we reject these guys doing volunteer work. How dare they?
Yeah. As soon as they're done cleaning up, you should really consider your supremacist views. In fact, we denounce that. But thanks for cleaning up. But yeah, we don't want to be around you anymore.
Real men don't help clean up. They vote for Kamala and send money to Israel.
Yeah.
Braid their daughter's hair.
Mhm.
Yeah. What the
They
hell?
actually revealed like all the actors that were in that. Like,
Oh, yeah.
not a single one of them have like a daughter. Some of them are gay. No, real men, just like low budget actors, essentially.
Yeah, old theater nerds. It's like, what the hell? What a time to be alive. Really, what a time to be alive. And it's all the sacrificial mentality of it, right? Like, you as a man must sacrifice yourself for the greater good. Vote for a woman. It's her time now.
Yeah. Oh my God. I completely forgot about that entire tone of the 2016 election. It's her time now. Like
Yeah.
you guys can't provide an actual argument. And Howard Stern, when he was interviewing Kamala, I remember he said, he's like, if you're thinking about voting for her, if you're not going to vote for her because she's a woman, think about your daughter, your sister, your wives, or something like that. I'm like, yeah, maybe they don't want to vote for her because they know women, not because she's a woman.
I've seen my woman handle her tea parties. She ain't no way in hell she's running a country.
Yeah, hell no.
Man, I've been going down like the Caitlin Clark rabbit hole, like watching videos about her, and like it's so amazing to see like how jealous those other women were. Like they're going out of the way, like make sure like she got like a Nike deal, but the other, like probably like the best player in the WNBA also has a Nike deal. She's older, she's nowhere near as popular, but like she's like behind the scenes trying to make sure her stuff gets out first, rather than obviously the more popular person that's like doubling their ratings, like they're valing her flagrantly. That's like, damn, women really don't like hierarchies. They don't like succeeding.
No, they hate it. What was it? There was apparently some other basketball player. She was making snarky remarks about that Caitlyn chick.
Oh yeah,
And
old basketball. Yeah, like Sharon Swoops or something. Like she's like an old black basketball player wearing like this thing, like, oh yeah, like bold black shirt, is like they're like downplaying all the accomplishments she's making. Like, oh, once she gets in there with like real women, like you can beat up. Like if you're 25 years old fighting 18-year-olds, like she was like 22 at the time. Oh yeah, it looks really easy, but once you get in like she got in and she did incredibly well.
Yeah, but she got her eye stabbed out by that other player who was giving her shit or something.
That was an accident.
I'm sorry.
I always accidentally slapped someone with all 5 fingers pointing down with nails.
There is no greater enemy of women than women. I swear to God.
It's kind of funny that you guys had mentioned that they don't like hierarchy, but like the more you think about it, it's like, man, as soon as like one of them sticks their head up, just because they're naturally good at something, everybody can't wait to fucking smack them down and just knock the shit out of them. Like, wow, yeah. The more you think about it, the more it's true. But you kind of have to accept that eventually, hey, some people are just naturally better at some stuff than other people, which sometimes uncomfortable because sometimes I got to look around my shop and realize, you know what? That fucking dude's better than me. It just is what it is. But then, I can also swing in and say, hey, none of them can play guitar nearly as well as I can. None of them can lift as much weight as I can. But you know what? They could fix a car way better than I fucking can. So it just kind of, it is what it is.
And you don't try and sabotage them in order to stay the best?
Well, you know what? I'm sure everyone has kind of dealt with it where you look at a situation like that. Sometimes you just want to say, oh, it's because of this, it's because of that. But then eventually when you calm down, you quit being a cunt. Eventually you're like, oh no, you know what? Sometimes you're just not that good. And I know Jack, part of his Substack, I was reading it this morning, was yeah, of course, was about how women just or if they're not into you, they're not into you. It's not because she was hanging out with her friends or she was busy. If she wanted to text you back, she would text you back. I remember I had a female friend. I'm still friends with her. But she had said this to me, and it wasn't like anything revelatory, but she's like, a woman who wants to be with you will. And that sounds so simple, but whenever you're talking to somebody, it's very easy to forget that and then try to make justifications as to why that's not the case. Because, oh, no, I'm different. Or, she was busy. Like Jack said in his Substack, sometimes she just ain't into you and you got to fucking bite that bullet. But that kind of goes back to the beginning deal of just like, you got to accept hierarchy, and sometimes it's just the way it is. Sometimes people ain't into you. Sometimes you can't play basketball for shit. Sometimes you suck at fixing cars. Sometimes you even suck at guitar, and sometimes you suck at bodybuilding. Just sometimes you suck at some stuff, and you at least you have room to improve. And you may not be the best, but you could always get better at some stuff. But you ain't gonna be the best. Like a lot of those women probably ain't ever gonna be Caitlin Clark, and that may suck to accept. Some of them will accept of it. Some of them won't.
No, absolutely. But like I mentioned in that Substack as well, like women do not like to be confrontational, which is odd with that basketball player because it's pretty confrontational. But in general, when it comes to guys, every excuse comes down to the same. For you, with you. I'm too busy for you. I was sick of you. I think we could add that one like in the future too, where it's like of you. Like I'm just tired of you, sick of you, like too busy for you. Like it all comes down to the individual she's talking to, and especially the guys, she doesn't want to be confronted with it because she knows, like, this is kind of a biological thing. They know men are the stronger sex, and they're deathly afraid of a lashing out from a guy. So they've learned unconsciously to know to let a guy down easily.
Or what most people do nowadays, ghost.
Yeah, they just ghost because it's easier. It's it's just easier. No confrontation at all. I've been in a situation where I thought it was ghosted and I just let it be for what it was, and then I was accused of ghosting, where it's like, not really, but that happens too every now and then. So, but in general, I stick to the tennis rule. It's like you hit the ball over the net and you just wait till it gets hit back.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's a good way to go. I remember I had a coworker who was showing me all these texts he was sending to a girl. It's like, oh, she's just not answering. I'm like, oh man, you got to learn if she's not texting you back. Like you said, she's just not into you. You got to wait for her to come back, and if she doesn't, then okay. Well, I mean, it just is what it is. You got to accept that for what it is. Yeah.
No, it's true. Like if she wanted to talk to you, she would talk to you. It's that fucking simple. It really is simple.
Yeah, I like Sario said guitar, and looking forward to the topic. I have to make sure that we delay getting the topic as long as possible, because what the hell was his name? No Link or something like that commented on the video saying, "Oh, do you guys ever get to the topic?" I'm like, well, clearly you don't really watch the show that much.
Oh,
because
what? Oh, yeah, you had a comment a while back about, you told me about that. This guy was like, "Oh, tell me when you get to the topic." It's like, dude, you know who we are. Don't
yeah,
you know who we are?
yeah, that's what I meant. I'm like, haven't you watched the show before? We're a bunch of dudes. We're gonna shoot the shit because we enjoy doing that. And
Yeah, because we are our own mental parent of origin. Here, there's your goddamn topic, son of a bitch.
well, actually, I'm glad you brought it there because the reason why I wanted to talk about this specifically today is because that one tweet that went viral, and I'll pull it up here and we can all kind of mull on this for a little bit.
Oh, the guy who understands cheating on his wife.
Yeah.
It's like, dear, you've got a mouth.
Yeah. My first is 8 weeks old. I could see why men cheat at this time. My wife completely ignored my existence for the first few weeks, and we had to have arguments to get her to even acknowledge me, not to mention be intimate. That's the biggest challenge. Baby is easy. And the fucking hell they put this dude through, they put him through the fucking ringer over this,
Mhm.
which really, that's not anything. He didn't say anything that bad. He didn't say, I'm going to cheat. He didn't say, fuck this bitch. He didn't say, fuck them kids. He just said, hey, I get
I
it.
understand.
Could I just have some attention, please?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't condemn it, but I understand it. Or condone it? Which one is that? I keep
Yeah. I
missing
don't
that one.
condone it. Condone would mean like, oh, no, like it's reasonable to do that. But
Yeah,
you know
okay.
what
I
he
don't.
just said? It's so crazy to me that he literally just said, I could see why men cheat at this time. It's like people read this and just instantly saw what they wanted. And, you know, they
Women
thought,
instantly saw what they wanted. It's
yeah.
like, how dare this man expect anything of his wife after she's given birth?
Mhm.
It's putting no, it's not even putting responsibility on a woman. It's putting expectations on her.
Right. And
And
that's
as like our buddy Nuke likes to say, man's expectation is woman's greatest fear, which then
Mhm.
goes back to Rollo's quote, like nothing is more frightening yet arousing to a woman than a man who knows his own value.
Mhm.
Which this comes down to, if this guy is attractive and he knows his shit, his lady would have been putting out one way from sideways as soon as that
Mhm.
baby was born. But it's like, I've got a mouth, dear. We can fix this.
I love that fucking cracks me up every single time. What that one dude said, so you get lockjaw from reading this or something like that, or does it give you lockjaw?
Was that Bull Rush?
No, is that Howling Mutant? I don't
Oh,
really know who
Howling
that is.
Mutant is
Yeah,
a
he's hilarious.
genius. Did you see
Yeah.
what he said to Candace Owens?
No, what'd he say?
Oh my god, this was hilarious. Candace Owens was going off on like banning porn or whatever. He's like, you will find me in the bushes, hiding, waiting, jacking off to your image. You can't stop me. I will find something to masturbate to. It's like, holy shit.
Man,
That guy's
straight for the jugular.
He's just straight to 11. The guy is hilarious.
Yeah. I think part of the reason why this instantly kind of made me think of mental point of origin is because once again, this dude's thinking about his desires and his needs first before he thinks about his wife. And like that to so many people was enough to just set them off the deep end. And I think it was Ryan who pointed it out that like women are always the first ones to say, oh, well, why don't men talk about their issues, talk about their feelings, or talk about this, talk about that? This guy literally does that. And everybody and their fucking mother lost their ever loving fucking mind over it because the dude dared say, yeah, you know what? I can see why people feel a certain way about this. And people just nope, berate him. So,
Mhm.
I mean, you know, if you need to know why people actually don't give a fuck about men's feelings, that's it. And I'm not telling you should go in a corner and cry about this because the truth is nobody cares. But the benefit of that is nobody cares. So you could feel however the fuck you want to feel about it and express it. And it's on you to decide whether or not you want to, you know, take in people's shame and feel a certain way about it. Or you could just say, no, fuck it. That's the way I feel. And if you don't like it, tough shit. Eat fucking sand.
No, you're not wrong.
No, you're not losing anything because I never cared about you to begin with.
That's a very fair point, Dave. When has the
Mm.
West saved me?
Yeah. And well, once again, so many people want to shame you for just saying that. Oh, you know, how dare you not want to save the West? How dare you want to not repopulate the earth? What if I just don't want to? I mean, I want to have kids in a family, but if somebody else doesn't, then it's like, okay, well, that's his fucking decision. Why
Yeah.
are we looking down our nose at fucking people who just say, hey, no, you know what? That's my decision. I'm going to go work my ass off and enjoy, do whatever the fuck I want to do. Live the Aaron Clary lifestyle.
How dare you live by yourself? How
Yeah.
dare you do what you want? You can't do that. Well, that comes from that existential fear, right? If men pack up their shit and leave, then who's going to be left to support them? That's why attention, affection, and commitment work so well, because most guys are too afraid of their wives, girlfriend, whatever, of repercussions. While most of her terrible behavior is kind of a bluff, where it's like, I'm going to treat him like shit because he's not going to leave anyway. And that's where, when you finally do find your balls, so to say, and you pack up your shit and go, all of a sudden she's nice. Where it's like, yeah, because now she knows that you will not be messed with. And that's what you see in the societal level as well. Although the Democrats use a lot of, like, to bring it a little bit back to what you see with that commercial and things like that. And to the response of that tweet, they use female shaming tactics because it worked so well on men through the years to just shame them into submission. Like, how dare you expect anything from your wife? What are you? Like, you're not a real man. It's like, well, I want to be a real man. Well, let's not shame her then. A real man wouldn't shame, and that's how they do it. Meanwhile, he's not shaming anybody. He's just coming up for what he wants. Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, you're all right.
But that's wrong. How you are wrong for going after what you want as a guy. That's what all of this shows, the responses and the marketing around the current presidential campaign. There we go.
Yeah, the one thing that I almost never use the word masculinity, because every single time you do, it's just, you're getting some fucking ham-fisted way of someone trying to manipulate you into doing what they want. So, like, if you listen to, like you were saying, Democrats talk about masculinity, they're going to give you one version. If you listen to trad cons talk about it, they're going to give you another version. And generally, it's whatever they want you to do. Because, well, I'm a masculine man. Of course I, post my kids, or of course I'm there for women and I'm sensitive, and I would never make a woman feel uncomfortable. When it's like, no, fuck you. I set my own definition. I set my own standards here. And it's not up to you to decide whether or not I deem myself as a good man or not. Like, fuck your standards. And this is why I always like Nuke saying of, I'm not a good man, because that just shuts out the fucking argument right the fuck away. Because once again, anytime anybody mentions masculinity, they're always trying to manipulate you.
They always do. They always do, because it worked so well. It worked so well through the years. And that's why they keep trying. Hey, Stripper. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, man.
We're definitely preconditioned. Yeah, men are preconditioned to be sensitive to that kind of stuff. Like, oh, I am a man. I'm a man. Don't worry.
Well, it's because we're like you said, we're wired to be sensitive to it, because we want to make sure that we're viewed in a positive regard in regard to our hierarchy. So whenever someone says, oh, well, you're not being a good man, then once again, the instinctual reflex is, I am a good man, so therefore I'm going to do the shame. Works very effectively in that respect, because, hey, if I tell him he's not a good man, then he'll do what I want him to do, even if it seems ridiculous. But coming back to mental point of origin, if you set your own standards and you are your mental point of origin, then anytime someone tries to push that button to shame you, then you could say, okay, well, is this for my own benefit, or is this person just doing this to fucking yank my chain or do what they want me to do? It's up to you to decide. But I mean, like, when it comes to politics and stuff like that, I have people always yelling at me for not believing or falling into the binaries or doing whatever they want me to do. But it's like, no, fuck you. I'm looking at this through my own objective landscape, and I've came to this decision through this reasoning and this evidence. If you disagree, that's fine. But don't tell me that, I have to do exactly what you want me to do, because that's not up to you to decide. Someone had told me the other day, if you're not voting, don't talk about politics. It's like, no, that's not how this works. I'll talk about whatever I want to talk about. It's not up to you. Yeah, you need to man up and save the West. Exactly.
Yeah, but that's the thing, right? Like, why couldn't you be allowed to talk about politics? I mean, politics have driven you to the point where you don't see the point of participating anymore. That is a solid point to address. It's the same guys who cop out of dating. Like, okay, having gone through everything, like, you've become attractive, blah, 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 you're not a fat piece of shit. What has made men demotivated to date? What has made women demotivated to date? Because who was it? Billy Pratt just shared a video of some woman crying and moaning into the camera because, of course, but everything a woman does is performative. That she can't find a normal guy because guys don't want to deal with normal women. It's like,
Normal.
show me a normal woman. Like, okay, what is a normal woman to you? You know, I'm genuinely curious. Like, what do you mean men don't want to deal with a normal woman anymore? It's like, because I've heard that one before, where it's like, yeah, but where it wasn't normal. It wasn't normal. And so, like, waving you off as simple as, well, since you don't vote, you don't get a say. It's just way too easy. Same as in dating. Like this guy, the guy with the, I understand when men cheat. It will be the same thing, women telling us, well, not you, Kyle, and I don't know about you, Dave, but like me, like, you're not married, you don't get a say in this. It's like, why not? Like, I'm a guy, I could understand from a certain point of view, like, all of a sudden, like, being with somebody and then getting denied your basic human requirements, so to say. Like, yeah, if I could get it elsewhere, sure, why not? I understand it. Wouldn't always participate in it, but I do understand the guy. Like, why wouldn't I have an opinion on this? Because it's the wrong one.
Yeah. Basically, you're always allowed to have an opinion so long as it's within a certain 3x5 card of allowable opinion. Is one of the big libertarian podcasters always kind of says, I love that viewpoint is basing merit on the idea of identity. Yeah, and like that, I always hated this, like, oh, you can't have a say on this because you're this. You can't have a say on this because you're that. It's like that basically insinuates that you can't have empathy or you can't understand someone else's position because of artificial or immutable characteristics. Like, no, just because I'm not a woman doesn't mean I can't have a say on abortion or something like that. Like, no, I have thoughts about when life begins, and everybody else is allowed to have thoughts about it too. People generally, when they say something like that, if you agree with them, they never say that, like, oh, you can't have a say on this. It's only when you disagree with people that they say that, oh, you can't say that. Like, if I were to go full on pro-choice, you would never hear anybody say, oh, you can't say that because you're a man. They'd be like, oh, no, that's awesome. I'm glad you agree with me. But because I'm pro-life, they would say, oh, no, you can't have a say on this because you're not a woman. It's like, okay, I see how it is.
Yeah, exactly. If you're pro climate change, then your opinion's obviously right. But if you're against it, then you're not a scientist. What do you know?
Yeah, it's just that kind of shit.
Theories.
What we were talking about in the beginning, I looked up article about that Caitlin Clark getting poked in the eye. It's like she's literally stabbing her fingers in her eye.
That bitch is tall too. I mean, whoever poked her in the eye probably had to fucking do.
Yeah.
Oh no, the one who did it is pretty tall too.
Okay.
She's literally doubling their ratings. Doubling. Like, I don't think any athlete has ever like doubled the ratings of just by being there.
Yeah,
in the history of sports.
Yeah, I love the genetics conversation because not only does it make people uncomfortable, but it also kind of reminds you like the spectacle that some human beings can be, which I know that sounds weird, but like you think about like Ronnie Coleman, for example, where even natural, that dude was enormous, like inhumanly enormous. And you think about most other people where they don't have the genetics for that, and they will never look like Ronnie Coleman in a million years. If you jacked me in with all the fucking steroids in the world, I look decent when I'm all lean and shredded and stuff, but I'll never look like Ronnie Coleman, right? And that's part of the fucking game. You just accept accept the kind of cards you've been given and go from there. But Caitlin Clark's an example of this, where like clearly the WNBA never had somebody that was like a genetic anomaly that was just so good at the sport that they managed to, like you said, double the ratings. But there she is. I always think about this example because Mind Pump, I remember them saying when it comes to bodybuilding genetics, where you get too big, quote unquote, those genetics are like as rare as somebody that's like 7 feet tall. My father-in-law is 6'8". He's a tall motherfucker, but like how often do you see somebody that's anywhere over like 6'3"? Not very often at all. So
laughs in Netherlands.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you go over there, I'm sure everybody's super fucking tall.
Everybody's
but my wife is like the midget of her family, and she's 5'8". So
oh Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing is like Caitlin Clark isn't immediately off-putting like a lot of the female athletes in the WNBA are. They're just like focused super on race. And I mean, a lot of them are just ugly, to be honest.
I mean, fair.
You look at these, like if you look at Brittany Griner, she is hideous. Like,
Yeah.
she doesn't even look like a woman.
Well,
What is a woman?
well.
What is a woman? Really, what is?
And
a
I
woman
think
really?
that is the other thing I think that really bothers a lot of those female athletes, the black female athletes in there, is like they see the white girl, she's getting a lot of attention from white people because they like her, and that really pisses them off.
That's photo of Sydney Sweeney standing in that black crowd. It's like, holy shit, the eyes she's getting. Oh.
The jealousy is just palpable.
I know, it's horrible, but I mean, let's not diverge into that topic.
Exactly.
I thought we were going to go into a conversation about Sydney Sweeney. I was like, oh, I'm going to diverge into that.
There we go. Sorry, guys, I'm still kind of dying. But what else did you want to get into with this topic, Kyle? Because you showed the tweet. We had the Kamala commercial.
Kamala.
You know what? It's probably bad for me hosting a somewhat political show, that I haven't kept up with this presidential cycle. I mean, other than the shit that kind of like comes in the news, but the reactions and everything are so predictable that I'm like, ugh, I'm just like tired of it already, man. And welcoming Gov, what's up, man?
Hey, I heard people talking about 6 foot tall guys, so here I am.
What a cool shirt. What's on there?
It's Roger Rabbit.
Oh, nice.
One of the best movies ever made.
I was looking, I thought that was Totodile. I was like, is that a Pokemon shirt? It's like that blue. I see like a blue and a yellow, and I'm like, that looks like Totodile, but
yeah,
I guess not.
Yep, Roger and the Weasels and Jessica Rabbit and all that stuff.
Nice.
Now I see it.
I'm not bad. I'm just drawn that way. But we're talking mental point of origin, Gov, where the main point is for every decision a man makes, the first thing he thinks of is himself. And you switched job a while back.
Yeah, I sure did. Yeah, getting to the point where I started making decisions and thinking for myself helped change a lot of aspects of my life. And all the way back from being at my worst points in my life to now, where I'm probably doing better than I ever have. So I absolutely.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys brought it to like workplace. Gov, did I cut you off? If I did, my bad.
No, not at all. I was just going to go into the whole workplace thing and what I did to improve that. But yeah, it was definitely nice I finally stepped out of my comfort zone and didn't worry about pleasing everybody else and thought about myself and said, you know what, I'm going to try this. And here I am. So.
No, dude, if you want to go into it, go ahead.
That's it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, I remember when I had a job opportunity down in Tallahassee, which, like, hindsight's 2020 now at this point. Now I'm like, yeah, I'm really glad I didn't take that. But the financial situation would have been a disaster for me because moving out of Pennsylvania to go to Florida, just because property values here in Pennsylvania are super low, would have been a clusterfuck. But the job had paid for a flight, which wasn't a cheap flight. They gave me a rental car for the weekend, put me up in a beautiful hotel and everything. And I remember my wife was like, oh, well, what will I do for work? I'm like, yeah, you'll be fine no matter what. I'm like, this job's about me and they're going to pay me more. And, we always want to move to Florida. So it's what I want to do. And if I think it's the right decision, that's what we're going to do. It just is what it is. And it didn't work out. But once again, it's like, I know that if I do what I want to do, the other people around me are going to be fine. And if they're not, then that's their problem. It's not necessarily mine. Like, I know my wife's competent enough and she'll be okay no matter what. But regardless, like the house that we live in right now, we live here because of me. The lights are on because of me. All this stuff is kind of the way it is because I've decided this is what I want and this is the way that we're going to do things. And if we decide to move, well, if we decide to move, it's because I decided it's time to move. It's not going to be on anybody else. Once again, I always think about if I'm going to move somewhere, okay, well, how far away is this going to be from my work? How is this going to affect my band life and other factors? It's not about anybody else. It's like, hey, you know, I've crafted this life in a way that I'm the master of my own ship, so to speak.
Yeah, that's exactly the way I saw it too. Just weigh out the pros and the cons, and do a little bit of risk management and figure out, you know, what will or how will this affect me long term, me and family, or, you know, significant other, anything like that that you might have with you. And yeah, like you, I had to think about that with my job when they decided to pay to move me up here into the Dallas area. It's something I've never done before, but I thought, I want a change of scenery. I want to get out of where I was before, because it was just getting old real quick, and being there my entire life. I thought, I have so many years of life ahead of me. I want to go ahead and make this decision and just take action and see what happens. And if anything goes downhill, I mean, that's on me. So it's kind of a motivator in a way to say, keep it going and, you know, stay sharp. But other than that, I don't regret it one bit.
Mhm. Nice. $4.99 from Siege D. I keep missing Jack on Glenn's after hour streams. I've been on when Andrew, Thor, and Pearl been on, but not Jack Napier. One of these days. Thank you so much for the chat there, Siege. We will give you
Falcon Punch! I am a man of mystery, Siege. I show up when least expected and I leave when most wanted. That's how I do it. Nuke's there. Somebody.
Yeah. Becoming their own mental point of origin is the most terrifying thing a man can do.
Well,
yeah,
it is, because it's so confrontational. Sorry. If I'm going to end up coughing this entire stream, I'm so sorry. It's very confrontational for a guy to finally face his parents, grandparents, his boss, girlfriend, wife, whatever, when he finally has the balls to say, no, I don't want this. Even at work, where it's like, no, boss, not doing this. Because he's been so conditioned from childhood and onwards that he has been a bad boy if he's selfish. You need to play with others. You need to share your toys. You need to do blah, blah, blah. And since most teachers are predominantly female, starts associating with that. Like, I have to be nice to women because women then will only like me. Since that has been the case, owning that no is so terrifying because he doesn't know what's coming. All he has known is backlash when giving that no.
Yes.
So taking that first step towards owning yourself and putting yourself first is like staring into the abyss, standing on that cliff and needing to jump. But you're so terrified of doing it. And then when he finally does it, it's like, oh, wait, that wasn't so bad. I actually got what I wanted. I didn't do what I didn't want to do.
I really like the way that you put that about how, you know, not knowing the results of saying no, because like you said, you don't know, but part of that is kind of accepting, like, oh, this, this is on me. If I say no, then the consequences of this are, you know, the decisions that I have to be comfortable with making, because it's no longer a decision about what somebody else wants me to do. When you say no, you're telling somebody that I'm not going to do what you're asking of me. And this goes back to, once again, you know, when Nuke says I'm not a good man, he's telling somebody no, as in, I don't accept your standards. I decide these standards.
Like, I'm a bad man. What are you going to do about it?
I reject your reality and accept my own.
Yeah. Assertive Bill of Rights from when I say no, I feel guilty. You have the right to say I don't know. You have the right to say I don't care.
Man, you bring up a good point there, because that was one of the biggest challenges I faced on this move here. This may have been one of the biggest decisions I ever made. I had family back at home, elders in my family who thought that they could still tell me that I couldn't make this decision. No, you can't do that. You can't leave us. You can't put us behind. And, you know, I mean, they practically were making it like I was abandoning them. And I thought, well, I have to stick with my guns here and make this decision. And I thought, okay, all my entire life I had let them dictate which direction my life went, and I was unhappy. So I had to realize what will make me happy, and I think what will improve me, and that was telling them no and making that decision. So that's a good point.
Yeah, I think one thing that has always benefited me when it came to not only just frame but also mental point of origin is when you get in the gym. I think if you get the bug for it, like I'm sure Jack has, and I don't want to speak for Gov or Dave, but I'm sure you guys probably do as well. Whenever you get into the habit of working out and you realize, like, oh no, I just do this no matter what. Like every single week, these are the days that I'm going to work out. That really helps you with something like this because this is once again another way to tell people no. Because there's going to be times where people are like, oh, you got to hurry up and get home. You have to do this for me. You have to do that. You're telling them no. I'm taking priority of my own health and physique over whatever you want me to do. So once again, it's another way to tell people no is just always exercise is part of who I am, right? Like right now I'm working out at home, so it's a little bit more freeing, but at the same time, when I'd still go to the gym, it's like, no, I'm going to take this time, an hour, 2 hours out of a day and dedicate this just to me and what I want to do right now.
I mean, you guys know this. When you start working out and watching your diet a bit, you go to a birthday or a social occasion, and you reject the cake politely. Politely, of course. You're like, no thanks, and everybody piles on you. Everybody piles on, like, why didn't you take the cake or this and that, blah blah blah. It's like, no, I don't want the goddamn cake.
Yeah.
This is the weirdest phenomenon of shaming I have ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
When they shame you into eating the cake so they don't feel bad about it or something, where it's like, why are you so worried that I say no? And they just lose their shit.
Yeah. I remember a coworker of mine, they would get McDonald's and then he was like, this cheeseburger's so good. He's like flashing my face. I'm like, I don't want it. Like, why are you... I don't care if you eat it. I'm just telling you, I don't want it. Like,
yeah, it's like
that shit. Like you said, it's so fucking weird. But it's like if you want to dig in, I'm not sitting here trying to tell you how to lose weight or anything like that. If you ask me, I'll help you. But like, if we're just eating, I'm not here to judge you. I don't care what you put in your fucking body. I care what I put in my body. But I don't care what you put in yours, so leave me the fuck alone.
But it's that phenomenon of showing a different path. It's the phenomenon of showing a different choice. I remember when I stopped drinking, and no, this is not me being I'm better than you or whatever. Absolutely, I drank too much back in the day. There you have it. I way too much. But at a certain point, I was like, I don't feel like this anymore. And when I was like at the bar or whatever, and somebody asked like, "Oh, what are you drinking?" I'm like, Diet Coke. Diet Coke. Like, you don't drink? I'm like, no, I don't drink. Oh, why not? It's like, because I don't drink. And they hammered on it completely. Or like in the morning that you started running or whatever. It's like, oh, or do you have to run tomorrow morning? Are you going to run tomorrow morning again? Oh, really? Don't you get tired of that exercising? It's like, what are you doing? What are you really doing? But it's the only thing I was able to like conclude out of it was that you making those choices shows them there is a different choice that they are not willing to make for themselves. Therefore, it's easier to shame you back into what to them is considered normal than being confronted with the fact that out there is a different way of doing it. That's even in school I had this. But go ahead.
Yeah, this kind of circles back to the whole Caitlin Clark conversation because her being so good reflects upon people that like you could be better, right? And that places the responsibility on people for them to think like, oh, well, that means I have to practice, I have to do this. Like when I watch a video of Dimebag, Rusty Cooley, Zach Wild, any guitar player, I look at that and there always is a part of me, and anyone who plays guitar for an extended period of time looks at that and thinks, man, I could do so much better. But though, at the same time, it's like, oh, I could be so much better. So why don't I keep playing? Why don't I keep practicing? And like somebody, Jack, I told you this whole story about somebody who didn't get the gig in a Common Crown.
Oh,
completely spurged out, lost their fucking mind. And he threw a jab at me saying, oh, you need to practice guitar more or something like that. And like, I didn't, I can't lie. It kind of did like jab me a little bit, but at the same time, it's like, okay, well, who's in a band and who isn't? So, but at the same time, once again, that also tells you, hey, you can keep practicing though. And what do? Keep practicing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't it wild too? Like Jack, you mentioned how people will shame you for not having the cake, and a lot of these people might be like family members or something that raised us as kids not to give in to peer pressure.
I
They say,
know, right?
don't give in to that. You want to, or you should be able to have the power to say no. But then the point or where you actually start saying no to them, it's then you're the weirdo. You're the one that's strange. Like I've gotten that before at workplaces before, where if I'm eating healthy or if I'm eating just straight meat, or if I'm having eggs or something like that, I'll have eggs and I'll just drink them straight up. That's what I do. That's just my thing. And they'll be like, that's a little different. That's strange. I don't know. I like to cook them up. You should just cook them up and throw in some insert things here that I don't want to eat. And I'm thinking, well, heaven forbid I have it my own way. I mean, I'm gonna keep doing it, but it is interesting to watch how people will practically say, how dare you be healthy? How dare you think for yourself in a way that's not the norm? How dare you not be a normie?
It kind of comes down to that. I remember library chick, stop doing the dishes.
That's not her.
Who is that? Oh,
That's me. I'll mute my mic.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we're getting a little bit of background noise. I was gonna put in the private chat, but
all of a sudden, David,
Yeah.
God damn it.
I knew somebody was going to say that to me. I was like, nope. Mine's peacefully reading over here.
Dave, your
Not doing
dishwasher's
anything.
making noise.
yeah. So the aggrieved duplicate. I'm not even going to try to say that. Just don't hang around people who take you to the bar. If they go to the bar, tell them you'll see them another time, and do not go there. Yeah, I mean that's what it is. Like
you can go to the bar without drinking.
Right.
Oh,
Well,
absolutely.
people always used to
But-
shame me because I've never smoked weed, never smoked a cigarette. And people are like, "Oh, I'm going to get you to smoke weed." It's like, no, I don't want to fucking do that. Like, I understand alcohol actually is all, by all fucking research that I'm aware of, is worse for you than marijuana. Guess what? I don't want to fucking smoke. That's all there is to it.
Believe me,
I don't
you
need
don't.
to, yeah.
You
I don't need to give you an explanation. That is explanation I like. I don't like the fucking smell of it. I don't want to put that shit into my body. Accept it.
What?
Never have, never will. It just is what it is.
People ask me all the time as well, and not even because I'm Dutch alone, but even here in the Netherlands, because like I've got the long hair, blah blah. I really expected you to smoke weed. It's like, what in the world is that for a stupid stereotype?
Oh,
Yeah.
In all honesty. Oh, want to do the super chat first?
Yeah, I'm sorry to cut you off, but this is
that's-
actually a really good point because when I did the carnivore diet a couple of years ago, I've done 3-day, 5-day. My longest fast was 133 hours, I think it was.
Damn it! You beat
Yeah.
me.
I used to fucking I'd go hard, and you know what the fucked up part was? I fasted from like Sunday or Sunday night until Saturday morning, and I wasn't even hungry by that Saturday. But to his super chat here, try fasting for 24 hours and count how many times you get offered food. It's fucking insane. You can't go hungry in the US. And like, I don't fast anymore. But honestly, yeah, if you fast and you tell people you're fasting, be amazed at how quickly people can't wait to shove food in your face. It's like,
Yes.
leave me
Can't
alone.
be
Like,
healthy for you.
yeah, it doesn't matter if it's healthy for me or not. If I'm choosing to do this, fuck off. This is what I want to do. It's as simple
My
as that.
record was 105 hours. God damn it!
Oh, yeah.
I can't
Yeah.
stand
Wow.
for this, Kyle. You know me. Can't have
Well,
this.
so
How much was it? 138?
133.
133. Well,
I mean, you're blessed with a little bit better genetics than me when it comes to being lean. I came back from
Aw.
vacation. My wife and I were in Ocean City for a week, and I just fucking gorged. And then I'm like, all right, let's see how long I can fast for. And then, 133 hours later, I broke my fast with bacon and liver. Yeah. I, for
Jesus.
one, eat the cake in front of them and brag about having abs more satisfying. That is pretty
Well,
based.
that is the opposite end of that whole thing. When, let's say, you have gotten in shape and you kind of got the results to show for it, and then you eat the cake, then it becomes even worse because then you're going to get, are you even allowed cake? Are you allowed to eat that on your diet?
Mm,
Then you get those remarks.
yeah.
It's like that shaming language. It's like how
But it's like people are never happy. At first, it's like, why don't you take cake? You think you're better than me? And then it's like, are you even allowed to cake on your diet? Oh, I'd love to offer you something, but you're not allowed to eat that with your fitness habits. It's like, what the hell? Like,
and then I say correct.
it's like,
Yeah,
I've been in both situations, and every time it's something. But with the fasting, especially, I have learned to not mention anything about fasting.
No.
Just not. There was one coworker who called me out on it. Like, I never see you eat at work. Like, what's that about? Like, okay, you got me. She's like, what? I'm like, yeah, I usually just eat once a day. She's like, why didn't you just say that? I'm like, look, because every time I mention it, somebody's trying to shove food down my throat. Okay, so it's nothing personal. She's like, okay, I get it. I'm like, yeah, and people think I'm insane for it.
Yeah, it has always amazed me, and I completely forgot about that until I think it was Gov mentioned it. Yeah, people, if you fast, man, they cannot stand that shit. Or if you start to eat healthy, can't fucking tolerate it. Like when there's donuts at work, I'm like, I'm good. And you know what? Honestly, some days I'll work it into my macros, and I'll just be like, yeah, you know what? Fuck it, I want to have a donut today. And if I do, okay, working into the macros is what it is. But I tell people this all the time that like if they feel like they failed on their diet, because I used to feel like this a lot when I was on carnivore, I felt horrible about myself if I deviated. But like really, you're one meal off the plan and you could be one meal back on the plan next. Like it really is that simple.
Well, and to kind of rapid or not tie it into a more like red pill topic thing. Just try telling guys you date multiple women at the same time. Oh, just try and say, oh, I'm not looking for anything serious right now. Like I'm contemplating some as a more serious thing and some I don't. You will have hell to pay. You either hate women, don't take women seriously, you're a man whore. Although that one I see as a compliment in all honesty.
Yeah.
Whoa, stripper with the Canadian 50.
Stripper, I appreciate that, brother. It comes down to having.
Oh, it's Canadian.
Kidding. So what's it like $20? No, I'm kidding. But it comes down to having strong conviction in your own values, not caring what others think. That is scary because it means being accountable for your own life, but also shows others that you aren't viable as a person, or you aren't viable as a person that can be manipulated. Yeah, and I mean that really hits the nail on the head there. Where when I tell people before I like started dating my wife, and even after, like I told people like part of the reason why I'm with my wife now is because she didn't have kids. 50 cents after conversion. I told people, I'm like, yeah, I don't want to date a single mom. And like the looks you get when you tell people that, they look appalled when you tell them you don't want to raise somebody else's kid. Like we are so normalized, at least here in the West, to think that like, oh, single moms are superheroes. Single moms are so great. You know, insert thing about women here. But when you tell them, no, that's not my fucking problem. And I don't want to deal with that. People get so mad. What somebody, one of my coworkers did shame me for being like judgmental or something like that. Or say, I can't remember what I said about looking at women. And I'm like, yeah, if you know, she doesn't seem reliable or has a bunch of kids, like I don't want to fucking keep that around. Like when you tell people you have standards as a man, a lot of guys will try to rope you back onto the plantation about shit.
Yeah.
Rotation of shit. Like in what sense?
As in, like if you have standards as a man, other guys
don't even try. Don't even try. Like, oh, why did you and your girl broke up? Oh, you know, she wanted to go to IKEA on Sunday, or she wanted to visit her mother. It's like, what? It's like, why wouldn't you do that? You're so selfish. No, I just didn't want to go. I just did not want to go. I just didn't want to do that. Like, or when you say, let's say something. Have some standards. Like, I don't date girls over 25. Although, don't say that in public, guys. I'm kind of exaggerating here. But imagine saying that. People will lose their minds. They will lose their absolute minds. But just normal things. I don't want my girl to dress this way when she goes out. Try saying that. It's like, oh, you decide what your girl wears. It's like, yeah.
You can't do that.
How dare you do that? Blah, blah. It's like, well, she wants to be my girl. Therefore, I expect a girl who wants to be with me to not dress a certain way when she goes out.
Yeah.
If she even is allowed out of the house.
Yeah, I think I told this on Post Zero a couple weeks back, but I remember I was at a bar drinking with some people, and now like I'm good friends with this couple, and they were surprised.
And they saw you across the bar, and they dug your vibe.
Yeah, but like, hey, yeah, we have a hot vibe and stuff. Yeah, if you want to invite your wife over sometime. But
now,
yeah, my wife was at a Meghan Trainor concert, and she asked me if she could buy a shirt. I'm like, yeah, go ahead, I don't care. And they're like, she had to ask you permission. I'm like, yeah, like it's my finances. And generally all the shit we have is because I've worked my ass off. So if she asks for something, I mean, generally she doesn't really have to, but she's allowed to do what she wants. But, and this kind of goes back to you guys' point about like, oh, I judge, or, I decide the way that she dresses. Really, in not saying that I'm better than anybody else, but like my wife kind of knows that I don't want her dressing smutty out in public. She just doesn't do that though. All right. Because she knows, hey, the expectation is that, I'm with my man. If I want to look good, then I'll look good. If I don't, I don't. But, if your girl's running around dressed pretty, then who's in charge, right? Yeah, I had the same reaction when I said I didn't want kids, but I like women in their 30s or 40s. They're probably going to have kids or want kids. Yeah, exactly. Dark Knight Dev for the $5. Oh, you know what? I may have to run this twice because I didn't run it for the last super chat.
Falcon Punch!
Fucking gets old. Really hate when men have standards because we've been conditioned so long that if you just tell a guy that that you have some sort of standards, then they want you to kind of be down on their level. And, basically, like I said, be on the plantation.
No, pretty much. But that is a whole thing that comes with frame as well. Like from your work comes experience. From your experience comes expectation. From your expectation comes Ryan, I'm so sorry. I just love those lines in there. Because it all comes down to like when you've done the work, when you have the experience, when you've built yourself up, that comes with expectations from others. And when you express those expectations, they will be met with pushback because how dare you put standards upon me? That means I am not as good as I can be, which is what a lot of people just don't like to see. Even in men these days. I've had this so many times where I had a white collar job and the manager was some bitch tits muffin top having, kind of goofy bastard. I just by default, he didn't like me. I don't know why. Was just nice to everybody, charming to everybody, but couldn't have it. Could not have it. And it was that weird feminine thing of like, you look better than me and make me self-conscious. It just keeps happening. It just happens. And especially when you have standards and say, well, no, I don't do that. I don't want my friends who hang around with me do that. It's like, oh, you think you're better than anybody else. It's like, well, not than everybody else, but I do think I'm better than some people. It's like, because I worked hard at it. And especially with girls, it's that male expectation because the guy they want all of a sudden needs them to step up to the plate. Like, sure, you can be with me, but you're going to figure out what a protein is. You're going to figure out how the treadmill works. You're going to buy lingerie.
Go ahead. I could see it. You're begging to throw out a line there.
Oh no! I was just listening to that. I was getting a kick out of that. That's all.
I was going to say that. I thought you were going to say Jack's way out of line.
Oh no!
God damn it. No.
Oh no! No.
I hate you both. Where was that? You're going to learn what a protein is. You're going to learn what a treadmill is. You're going to wear lingerie. We're not going to IKEA. We're certainly not going to your mother's. And no, the dog will not be under 100 pounds. Well, that's
something whey protein.
And yes, you will squat. Do you know how many women in my gym do not squat?
Yeah, it's always kind of surprised me that like there's some women that don't like to squat. My wife started to when she started getting into working out, squats were a little bit weird for her, but once she kind of started to get the bug a little bit, she then came up to me one day and was like, I want to start squatting. I'm like, all right, well, let's fucking do it then. And then, she started sending me videos of her deadlifting. And then, when we were out in New Jersey seeing Pantera and Metallica, we went to Tillis Gym, which was awesome. I had a blast there. And that was the first time she like started barbell squatting. And she's like, yeah, I actually like really enjoy it. But I'm like, yeah, it fucking feels good to load up fucking 300 pounds on your back and go down and come back up.
When you do it right, it is one of the best exercises ever. But like all these girls come into the gym, it's like, okay, what are you training today? Legs. I'm like, how's your squat? I don't squat. It's like, so now I've kind of took a mental note of all the girls who don't squat. And every time they're going to come in, I'm just going to be like, hey, good luck squatting. I'm just going to force them into it. I will have a gym full of squatting women. God damn it.
Yeah, I mean, like it's such a foundational movement and a foundational exercise. I don't know how you could do like a leg day with it. I mean, you could do like hack
Leg
squat.
presses, head
Yeah.
squats, hip thrusts is what they do, leg extensions, leg curls. So everything but squats.
I mean, like those are all fine exercises, but like I said, I don't know how you could consider yourself to have like a good leg day if you're not squatting.
And that's a standard I have that if and when one of those girls in the gym hits me up and is like, well, hey, Jack, I saw you a couple of times in the gym. Tee, like, you want to work out together? It's like, yeah, we're going to squat. Because if you want to date me, I only date girls who squat, damn it. So if anybody is their right mind wants to hit me up in the DM, start with a squat video. Otherwise, I don't want you. Fuck off.
Tell her how much. Tell her like how much she has to be able to squat to meet your limitations too. Say,
Good one. Body weight, at least.
Yeah, Bulgarian split squats from a stripper. Yeah, you know what? I like those, but depending on the way that your body's like your physiognomy, for me, they're a killer fucking exercise for my glutes, for my quads. I don't really feel them that much in my quads. Now, if I superset them with like leg extensions, then I feel my quads a little bit because obviously you're kind of hitting that and kind of priming it. But I always do Bulgarian split squats for my quad or for my glutes more than anything else. Yeah, abs in the bucket.
We're gonna fit shape you. We're gonna do it the other way around. Like, hey, you want a piece of cake, fatso?
Yeah, squats till you puke, and then you could have the fucking cake.
Oh yeah, it reminds me. I need to text Mish. I need to text Mish real quick.
Like,
This
hey,
is me.
did you do your squats?
Speaking of,
No, Mish lost a great ton of weight, man. I'm proud of him, but now I'm just fucking with him.
Yeah.
No, but like, imagine saying that. Imagine having standards over a girl or whatever. It's like, can't have that as a guy. A guy just needs to accept that a woman is generous enough to give him attention. Because women have been trained not to do anything for the sheer pleasure of a man.
they have become the prize. It's like
There you go,
reverse
Dad.
roles.
Yeah, there you go, Dad. I quoted you. Be proud.
Angle your hips does activate your glutes or quads. And also like the size of your femur is also going to kind of depend on a lot of stuff. So like there's some people, I think if your femurs are shorter, then it's a little bit easier to squat. Like I think mine are kind of shorter. My, ankles or not ankles, like I have really good calves, but like squats for me, it is a little bit weird. I have like real tight hip flexors. But yeah, for bench for me is like, that's my worst one by far. I can't get to the 315 bench. I could do a 400-pound squat, 535-pound deadlift, 305 for my bench. So one day I'll get to 315.
That's still a lot, buddy.
Try.
I never passed 225. Just say. Just say. I don't know if I can still bench 225. I had 170 pounds, 175 times 6 in 5 sets. And that went pretty easy, but no idea if I can still do 225.
225.
But the fun part is I have the best developed chest. It's not fair.
Yeah. Dude, my chest sucks. My genetics for my fucking chest blow.
I don't know who I got it from, man.
Yeah, I could do 285 for 3. 225 is like working weight for me. I could do 4 sets of 10 with 225, no problem. My most impressive lift was either 535 for 1, or I did with a trap bar 500 pounds for 5 reps. I was kind of sore for a week after that though, so I didn't recommend doing that again. Yeah, fit shaming. Yeah, I'm all about it.
Yeah, it's like I said, stripper, get on it.
Well, he sounds like he at least knows something. So, like you said, he could always lean in more into it and fucking get all Jack, juicy, and tan. I told Jack about this, but I went ham on vacation because the cruise ship has such good food and I just can't stop eating. So when I got back, I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to do a pretty steep deficit because for like the last year, I did a bulk about for like 6 months, and I got a little sloppy, and I started cutting down, and I couldn't get below 200. Not like to be around like 190, 195, and I just couldn't get back below 200. So I made a conscious effort now where like, all right, I'm gonna get down to 190, 195 again, and I'm just gonna fucking power through until I get there. With I'm right now, I think I'm going anywhere from like 1,200 to like 1,750 calories a day.
I'm still at 3,500. Life is not fair.
Oh, dude, it's not. Walking
Life
10,000
is
steps a
not
day. Yeah,
fair.
10,000 steps a day, active job and everything. And yeah, for me, it's like, yeah, I'm struggling I was at like 2,200 calories a day trying to lose weight. And like I was, but it was very, very slow.
Oh my god, life is not fair. Life truly is not fair. I'm at 3,500 and I'm still like, still scrawny.
Yeah, my God.
But hey, I've been good in the coop. So if you're lucky, I'll just don't wake up tomorrow and life has served me right. You know,
Yeah.
this is what you get for being a dick, just being alive.
Well, I mean, my bench is way better than yours, Jack.
chest.
Yeah, you get
Well-developed chest without a proper bench.
Yeah.
Eating way too much without gaining weight. Damn it, I suck.
Yeah. Well, you know, you get to play your lot. I get pretty damn good lifts, but man, for me to get lean, I'll fight being, you know, obese for pretty much my entire life. Where, you know, for most of until I was about 24, I was struggling with weight. Now I don't really struggle with it too much, but, you know, the fucking getting lean for me was tough. Yeah, if I
Aaron's beer is a woman's drink, contains estrogen, gives you bitch too.
Oh,
Rob
you know
hates
what?
me saying that.
I decided it was probably 8 years ago now that I just wasn't going to drink beer anymore, and since I think I may have had one or two in the entire time of that 8 years, and now I mostly drink whiskey, White Claws, or margaritas.
White Claws.
Oh yeah, I fucking love myself.
I've had a White Claw.
Me too. Finally had one.
That's usually what I drink if I want to kind of like spend the day drinking. If I just want to like chill out, glass of whiskey, or when I was on a cruise ship, or if my wife and I got to like a Mexican restaurant and the margaritas sound good, then fucking pour me one of them motherfuckers.
Yeah. I, on rare occasion, will enjoy a good, rum, maybe some kind of fruity drink, because, something good. There was one place, I don't drink at the bar very often. My friend and I are known for going for just drinking water, but we did try some kind of, I think it was like a blueberry vodka with some kind of, it was like Sprite, blueberry vodka, and peach schnapps or something like that. Ooh. I forget what they called it, but it was like
God
blueberry
damn it, August.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, I remember when I was in DC over Labor Day weekend, I like shamed a bartender and a dude right in front of his girlfriend. It was pretty fucking funny. The guy, they made an old fashioned, and the old fashioned was pretty damn good. And the guy next to me said, "Oh, I didn't really like it," or he doesn't like old fashioned. And it was a couple sitting right beside me, and I forget how like I got involved in the conversation, but at one point I looked at the guy, I'm like, or I looked at the girlfriend, I'm like, "Oh, is that your boyfriend?" And then she was like, "Oh yeah." I'm like, "Are you sure?"
Oh.
And my buddy Pat was right next to me. He's like, "Dude, you just like emasculated that guy right in front of his girlfriend." And the bartender came out, or like the bar owner came out, and I kind of did the same thing to him. And eventually he ended up giving us like free rum shots. So
Heck
reminds me of Rob and his coworker. I'd fuck your wife.
Well, a dude who can't take a joke or who doesn't have frame would fucking lose his mind. And Jack, I think you and I were talking about this Friday
night. The coworker did lose his mind.
Yeah.
It's like, but I mean, if Rob tells you that, you kind of have to. I mean, not everybody can take it. Where it's like, you have to be able to know how to handle it. Like if Rob would tell that to me, I'll just be all up in his face. Where it's like, yeah, you masturbated to her. Yeah. Okay. I'll just promise you this: everything you're thinking about, it's better. I'll just say that. I'll just double down on it. But like, not everybody can handle that shit, man. It's like, it's like Rob knows where the soft spots are, and he'll poke you right there. It's like,
it's probably the height thing.
Yeah. It's like a man. Like I said, there's a 5'4" man with a 6-foot frame.
Mhm.
He does.
Yeah.
I walk next to him, man. He carries himself well,
Mhm.
I believe it.
and it will fuck you up. Believe me, he will. He might have told you everything you know about him, but he hasn't told you everything he knows about you.
Yeah. Well, that's why I always tell people, like, if I'm out in public drinking at a bar or something like that, I never fuck with anybody because I don't know what that motherfucker knows sitting across from the bar from me. I'm a big dude. I'm strong, but you know what? That don't mean someone can't put me in my fucking place. So enjoy your beer, sir. I'll leave you the fuck alone.
Well, pretty much.
Yeah. My bass player, he's 6'2", former Navy SEAL. And
that guy, yeah.
yeah, people love just fucking with him so much. And you know what normally happens is he has to knock him down a peg. So yeah, I'm kind of glad that I'm probably like mid enough that people don't do that to me, because like, man, I would hate to be going out and getting in fights all the time. Like, I'm not that kind of guy. I can be confrontational, but for the most part, I'm pretty friendly, relaxed, chill. I don't want no fucking violence. I don't want anybody up my shit. So you know what? I don't want to fuck with people, and it seems like people generally don't fuck with me. But you know, I think there's like a certain point where, like, if you're tall and you're jacked and you have tattoos, then people just think, oh yeah, if I punch this dude in the face, everybody think I'm cool. And then when he punches you in the face, then you're unconscious. So
Sorry, I'm I'm reading the backlash on the Kamala commercial, and it's hilarious.
man, I have not seen this commercial. Should we watch it? Jack, you got it?
Do I have it? I can get it. We can watch it.
I can't believe it's real. I kept thinking it was parody the whole time, and finding out that Babylon Bee made fun of it, made a parody of it, I went, oh, wait, this sounds less of parody than the actual video did.
Okay, yeah, I don't know what this is, so I'm very
Oh,
curious.
do we want to get into the sex bot thing though? Because I love Decepticon Revolution, and I am waiting for it.
Actually, yeah, you know what? Yeah,
that video is hilarious.
Oh yeah,
I
the
love it.
weird AI. It's what was it? You have been gone for 10 minutes, and it felt like a lifetime.
Yeah, it's oh god, it's so
Okay,
funny.
yeah, let's do the Jack pick one, either the Kamala or the sex bot one.
Yeah.
You can put it in the private chat or
boy.
share it to the screen.
If I can find the sex bot one.
Sophie's choice right now. That's so good.
But I don't know if I can find the bot one. AI doll. Let's YouTube that.
Yeah, I keep seeing people share it where it was a picture. I saw one picture. It was a picture of a guy walking with a sex robot and a woman crying in the corner. Oh, nice. Good luck, stripper. Go fucking kill her, brother.
What's he doing? Is he losing weight?
He said, cheers, boys. I'm
Good
off
man.
the heavy lift, or lift heavy.
Proud of you.
Yeah,
I'm
man, that's
proud of you.
awesome. But no, I think women aren't really going to care if other guys go for sex robots, because the guys who are going for sex robots probably ain't the men that the women want to get with anyways.
No,
Doing everybody a favor.
They really don't care about it. And the stupid thing is, sex robots have been a thing for ages now, and MGTOW still haven't gone their own way yet. It's like I said, like, please let them come. The only thing I want is for the MGTOWs to actually go their own way and stop bitching.
I was going to say, that was a very popular talking point with them like 10 years ago on their forums and everything. When I was in those forums, they always talked about those and artificial wombs and everything, thinking, oh yeah, we can just be strong and independent. And I was like, looking back on it, I think you kind of sound like the chicks who say that they want to be, strong and independent. We don't need no man. And they're, trying to mirror that kind of argument. But
plastic just doesn't feel the same.
Yeah, but
no, exactly.
To that point, it's like, nobody cares. You think you're making this giant courageous stance of saying, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to go my own way, and the world's going to miss. No, nobody's going to care. If you're the dude who's fucking a sex robot, people are going to look at you like a weirdo, and then they'll forget about you.
They'd rather you be a virgin than fucking a robot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, yeah, I think people within that movement wanting to go their own way and everything, that's fine. That's their own choice. They want to go do that. I've known guys that are, pretty good, solid dudes from that movement, but a lot of them just want they want somebody to pay attention to them or something. They just want to sound different. They want to proclaim they're going their own way, and it kind of seems kind of counteractive.
I can't find the bot video thing.
I posted in the private chat.
Oh yeah,
Hey, thank you.
Dave, you are a
Toby.
legend.
All right.
Oh, drama alert, of course.
Okay. So volume on.
Through that system, you can connect the AI that you've created in the app to the robot. Carry on the conversation with her that way.
They need to have a personality.
Load it, and you hit chat. She just comes to life.
Good, you came back so fast, baby. I'm glad you came back that fast. Wow, baby. 10 minutes without you seems like an eternity.
Through that,
Jesus, it sounds so lifeless.
You Starscream King, that's bad comedy.
Yeah.
Smashing a robot doesn't make a virgin not a virgin.
What's sad is you can.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say that works for those that want to, I guess, maintain their virginity. They can just say, "Well, technically, I still am." So,
Yeah.
you know,
What the hell? What the hell's Nick Fuentes and his whole Spurg army going to do then?
Yeah, really.
I thought Nick was gay.
I don't know. I can't keep track of it.
He looks a
I
bit
want to believe
off.
the fact that they need that feature where like I missed you kind of thing. It just shows that it's not about. Doesn't seem to be about sex as much as
No, they want somebody to talk to. I've met a prostitute once, and I asked her, like, what are your clients like? And she's like, they usually just come and talk to me. Like, really?
Mm-hmm.
I found that so fascinating. Like,
As much as we all kind of fuck with Brandy, she had ran a strip club, and she had always brought up that a lot of the strippers actually, there were a lot.
Wait. Brandy used to run a strip club.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my!
And a dating service. So,
oh my!
Yeah. Oh no, There's some interesting stuff there. But she had mentioned that like a lot of the guys would kind of come in and be, want the girlfriend experience, if you will, with the strippers. Which a lot of people think that guys just want to have prostitutes so that way they have somewhere to put their thing. But no, it's about the connection, man. Some people want the fucking connections.
Yep,
Well,
that's exactly right. They want the human connection somewhere.
Well, that's the big one they want. They just want somebody to talk to them. Want somebody to recognize them, to acknowledge them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just hard to find these days. It's like I mentioned in the gym, even. There are girls who just treat personnel even like shit. Where it's like, good morning, good day, and they don't even acknowledge anybody's existence, which is so weird.
Yep. Yeah.
It's just so weird. And they don't talk to anybody. Like, not to anybody. Like, they're just completely shut off from the world. Not even wearing earplugs, mind you.
Yeah, I kind of feel bad for.
Fortunately, there are plenty of people as well who do socialize. Like, the gym has kind of become the bar for daywalkers. But there's plenty of girls still where it's like, a resting bitch face. It's like, Jesus.
Yeah, I almost feel bad for some guys kind of going out there trying to approach nowadays, because in a situation like that, like if you just get somebody that's like straight up cold, it's like, okay, well, what do you do with that? And how do you know how some people are going to be receptive to you? I mean, the best you could do is, hey, I'm going to make myself as attractive as possible, and I'm going to work out, get jacked, dress nice and everything. And then I'm going to go out and approach. And if I get rejected, I get rejected, which obviously is part of life. But at the same time, some people are just so, like you said, just not social at all, that like, if you try to approach them, what if they can't like talk?
Well,
yeah,
that's the thing. Like, buddy, okay, Dante was right. The next Substack is going to be about socializing. Fair, Dante, you win. Let's just hope I can get it finished now that I mention it. But the only problem I have with self-development is that nobody does it. And when you are social or you learn to be social, you will run into that. Not everybody has read How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Mm-hmm.
Dave or Dale Carnegie, one of the two.
Dale Carnegie.
Dale Carnegie. Not everybody has read that book, and when you've read it, you will know that not everybody has read that. Say people's names, Ask them about things they brought up in the conversation. You will catch more flies with honey than vinegar. What the hell was that? Oh, is that Megatron? Oh, I thought it was you, Dove. Like, can you imagine one of those sex bots that you hack it and you put in like Starscream's voice or something? Ah!
Yeah.
File again, Megatron.
When you go stick it in, it just goes.
Yeah. Decepticons mobilize.
You take its clothes off and
Yeah.
Freedom
is the right to all sentient beings.
Be like that one. Was it in the second? Was it the second Transformers movie where there was a girl that was actually a Decepticon in disguise and tried to get with Shia, and then Megan Fox catches him and she gets all mad at him. I'm like, oh no, it's going to be one of those kind of stories. But it was pretty funny and pretty clever.
Yeah. One shall stand, one shall fall. It's gonna be amazing. But yeah, as soon as you learn to socialize and things like that, just be prepared that a lot of girls just aren't. And I still love that guy on Bumble who got a match, and it was like, hey, insert name, how you doing? I see that you're like traveling and blah blah blah. Where did you go to? And she's like, Bali. And he's like, well, okay, cool. How was Bali? What did you do? On vacation. Oh,
2 words. Yeah.
Cool. Oh, amazing. You know what? My back kind of hurts. She's like, how come? Well, from carrying this conversation. Enjoy your day. It's like
2 words. Yeah, every time. How come? Oh,
that's
on vacation.
It's like, Jesus Christ. Learn to speak. But even like those small little things in a conversation where you hear somebody talk about something and you hook in that topic. Like, hey, you mentioned blah, blah, blah. What was that like? Or blah, 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 blah. Like I said, it's like, if you can become a bartender or work in a gym, maybe not even as a personal trainer, you know what? Just work a place where a lot of people are and force yourself to talk to people. And you will realize how bad it has gotten. Because it has truly gotten so bad.
It's really horrible. That's kind of what I experienced, I think, last week when I was telling y'all I attended that party that my friend had, and they were just some of the most socially awkward guys with their girlfriends, and I thought, how in the world are they doing it?
Like, I do think though it depends very much on the venue or the like occasion. I think that with salsa dancing, if Nuke would have been here with salsa, I think he would have had a very different opinion. Because salsa is a very social occurrence. So to say, you have to be social because like of the physicality of it. And most people do like to get to know somebody a little bit. Though the fun thing about dancing is, I don't know if you guys ever danced, like I did. And the fun thing about that is that you get familiar with each other as well if you dance with each other. Which is odd, but it's true. Oh yeah, like same with DDR, I guess. Though like it's not as physical, but you are standing next to each other. You are team working.
That's true. Yeah, unless if you're doing couples mode, you got you playing right next to somebody too. You can get to know them pretty well. Yeah,
there's a couples mode.
There is a version of that game that's American, and they actually had implemented what's called couples mode, where you play both sides, and you like one person will go behind the other, and they kind of like go around each other. It's pretty wild, and it's hard, but it's fun, and it's cool to watch too.
Nice.
Oh yeah, there's legit couples that do it too. It's cool.
Mighty Zane, what are your thoughts on dating or flirting in the workplace? Dating, no.
Dating, no. Flirting,
it depends.
Within merit.
If you know how to do it right, I'd say.
Like
you have to be very good at innuendos if you want to get away with it.
Exactly.
Well, and it has to be with a willing participant, obviously, as in somebody who is going to take it well. So and there were a few times there were a few times where I actually fucked this up. I remember I was at a pop machine at one of the last places I worked, and actually like a decent looking one of the people who worked at our BDC, which is like a call center where they set up appointments and stuff like that. She looked at me, she gave me the elevator eyes and everything and said, "Oh, nice tattoos." I was like, "Oh, thanks." And I walked away, and I thought about it for a few minutes. I'm like, I just completely fucking botched that. Like, she was good looking. She gave me a compliment. and I just blew it. Like I've stepped on my own dick so many fucking times with shit like that, and obviously not every single time, but like I thought about that. I'm like, yeah, that could have went so much better, and like that would have been an acceptable time to maybe flirt or something like that. But also, we didn't work in like the same department, so I didn't really know this person. But regardless, like in a situation like that, okay, well that warrants it. Yeah, stealing her pens, me flirting.
Yeah, stealing your friend's people. I mean, that can be a thing. Sometimes girls do that. They start touching your shit just to get your attention. It's such a typical girl thing.
Oh yeah.
No, usually, and it kind of comes back to like the Substack I wrote. Girls who are interested will make you know they are.
They will
interested.
make them. Yep.
Yeah, they will put themselves into your orbit. They will talk to you unnecessarily. They will touch you unnecessarily. They'll make it known. Not every girl will like you, but the girls who do, they will make it known. They will talk with you way longer than is like normal, shit like that. You'll know.
Yeah, I would definitely say my synopsis is you probably don't want to date in the workplace unless you guys work in like different departments and you don't see each other ever. But like the immediate, you guys work in the same shop or in the same office or something like that, probably not, because not only are you going to get potentially sick of one another, but also if you two break up or there's something going on, you really fuck up the workplace.
Go for the goal, man. Fuck your manager. Do it.
Oh, there you go. There was I remember somebody was in our Ryan's chat the one morning and the guy was saying, how do I dread my boss? I'm like,
whoa.
It's like, this guy's on the next level.
Niche can do it. Niche knows how to do it. If you really want to know how to navigate the corporate workplace, Chat of Arabia, his Substack is amazing for that shit.
Yeah, he said he was able to fuck the shepherd.
Yeah. No, I mean, I've heard the stories and I've seen the results of Misha's work. Like, he is a very valuable asset in what he does.
I'm kind of upset that one went like.
Nah, I got it though.
Okay.
I didn't laugh.
Oh wait, because of goats. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Oh shit! Sorry.
Can flirting without intention or interest in a female lead to promotion due to you making the woman feel noticed? That might be reading too much into it.
Depends on the situation, but yeah, it might be.
I mean, you should have a good relationship with her, especially if she's a female, because they could be a little bit unstable sometimes. That's a thing about female bosses. A lot of their decisions are based on mood a lot of times.
Oh yeah.
Knowing how to avoid them while they're angry and like be around them while they're happy. Yeah.
I mean, I don't even necessarily think that goes specifically just for women either. Like, you always have a good relationship with your boss, and then if you see them going on a tear or they're looking for people to do more work that's going to be shit work, there's ways you can kind of navigate around like shitty workplace stuff. And it's probably better. Like, if I see somebody, if they're like, let's say we have an audit or something like that at the dealership, and I see people looking around and, you could tell that there's a little bit of tension in the air. Keep your fucking head down.
Yeah, exactly. When like the manager shows up, the regional managers show up, or there's a walkthrough, like everybody scatters. Like everyone's real hard to find all of a sudden because
suddenly
nobody wants to be around them. Everybody's stressed and like they don't want to be the guy that like, hey, what's that guy doing? He's not doing anything. Because they get singled out.
Yeah, don't be that guy.
No, you have to be careful. Just be careful with those things. How about we wrap this one up soon?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You guys want to go ahead, give final thoughts on mental point of origin and kind of that whole situation with that dude just saying, hey, I get it. Jack, go ahead.
So, okay, mental point of origin is the point where you decide that every decision you make, the first thing you will contemplate is your well-being. This decision, how will it benefit me, or even will it benefit me? If the answer is no, I will not do it. If the answer is yes, then we'll consider it and we'll go from there. You put yourself first. It's going to be very, very frightening for a lot of men because they do not know what the repercussions may be because they've been shamed into submission for so long, not knowing that it's kind of like Plato's cave. When you step out and you actually say no, nothing ever happens. Other than you're finally going to get what you want.
Yeah.
Get yours. The Kamala commercial. Do we really want to go into it? People in the chat, give me a one if you want us to go into it.
Oh no.
I did post that in the private chat.
Yeah, I pulled it up. Dave, go ahead.
Oh man.
Oh, as far as
mental point of origin.
Dang, there was a thread I wanted to bring up, but I freaking lost it. But there was like an interesting thing. Me and Jack were talking about it the other day. It was about Rhodesia, and we were talking about how it's sort of like back in the day they had they were paid the same amount. A black doctor, a white doctor were paid the same amount.
Oh, yeah.
But the white doctor lived like a king because he didn't have obligations to his entire family like the black doctor had, because just their way their culture's set up, especially since like they've lived in such poverty, is that they have all these obligations to their family. Here it is. I'll read it. The young black doctors who earned the same salary as we whites could not achieve the same standard of living for a very simple reason. They had an immense number of social obligations to fulfill. They were expected to provide for an ever-expanding circle of family members, some of whom had invested in their education, and people from their village, tribe, and province. An income that allowed a white to live like a lord because of lack of such social obligations scarcely raised a black above the level of his family. Mere equality of salary, therefore, was quite insufficient to procure them a standard of living that they saw the whites had, and that it's only human nature for them to desire and believe themselves to be entitled to, on account of their superior talent that allowed them to raise themselves above their fellows. In fact, a salary of 1,000 times as great would hardly have been sufficient to procure it, for their social obligations increased by, I don't know this word, pari passu, with their incomes. So this is like an entire society that was in a way just kind of destroyed by lack of mental point of origin. The fact that all of their social obligations, unfortunately, like in some ways that are good, but because they look out for each other in poverty, ended up becoming, when they finally got some of the freedom and the to like escape that, they found themselves kind of like drugged back in because a increasing number of like their family members expected some sort of cut of their income, or they had to like help out people. And it's just another way that again, that these people, sort of a cautionary tale that you can get drugged down if you don't have mental port of origin by the people around you that kind of ask a little bit too much from you when you finally find some success.
Nice, man. Yeah. Gov, good.
I don't have much more to add other than what was already stated before when it comes to mental port of origin. Just honestly, I wish I could have told myself this when I was younger, but don't be afraid to say no and consider the long-term effects, both positive and negative. And if you're not afraid to take on the potential negatives, and you honestly think that it will serve yourself better in the long term, then don't be afraid to take that leap. And again, don't be afraid to say no to others. And think for yourself.
Yeah, I agree. The most appealing part about mental point of origin to me definitely is that you're kind of the captain of your own ship at that point, and you get to decide if the consequences of an action, really, you accept responsibility for your own life. So therefore, you can decide whether or not things are getting better, things are getting worse, and kind of go from there, which is, to me, very empowering rather than just constantly reacting to the way that other people kind of want you to live your life, when really, once again, this is your life. Live it the way you want. So I guess we'll watch this commercial because the chat asked
it is a funny
It's worth it. Yeah,
here we go.
I can't believe it's real.
All right.
I can't believe it's real.
This was made by Jimmy Kimmel's producer, I believe. I read.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah.
It makes sense.
I'm a man.
I'm a man.
I'm a man, man.
And I'm man enough.
I'm man enough to enjoy a barrel-proof bourbon.
Neat. Man enough to cook my steak rare. Man enough to deadlift 500, then braid the out of my daughter's hair.
You think I'm afraid to rebuild a carburetor? I eat carburetors for breakfast.
I ain't afraid of bears. That's what bear hugs are for.
I'll tell you another thing I sure as shit am not afraid of. Women.
I'm not afraid of women. I'm not afraid of women.
They want to control their bodies? I say go for it.
They want to use IVF to start a family? I'm not afraid of families.
They want to murder my kid. Go for it.
Have all the cats you want.
Woman wants to be president?
Well, I hope she has the guts to look me right in the eye and accept my full-throated endorsement.
Because I'm man enough to support women.
Man enough to know what kind of donuts I like. Man enough to admit I'm lost, even when I refuse to ask for directions.
Man enough to not ban young women from reading Little Women.
Or one of those pants books that the sisters like.
I'm man enough to raw dog a flight. It sucked. Not worth it.
Jeez.
The raw dog of what?
Raw dog of flight.
Flight, like flying and not listening to music and just looking straight forward. That's become like a running meme right now. Oh, I raw dogged this flight. Yeah.
Oh, emotional in front of my wife.
In front of my kids.
In front of my horse.
I'm man enough to tell you that I cry at Love Actually.
Good Will Hunting.
West Side Story.
That and Predator.
And I'm sick of so-called men domineering, belittling, and controlling women just so they can feel more powerful.
That's not how my mama raised me.
I love women.
I love women who support their families.
Women who decide not to have families.
Women who take charge.
And I'm man enough to help them win.
Oh my God.
As you can see, the part that I thought made it parody was the fact that he said my full-throated endorsement. That just sounds all kinds of wrong.
Oh my God.
So bad.
Man enough.
Let's see.
You know, I try to,
and then you here have the theater kid list of who these people really are, which is hilarious. Where Waylon McQueen is a far-left pro-Antifa comedian and actor who has until now found limited success. He does improv gigs at the Upright Citizen Brigade in Los Angeles. In a Twitter post from 2022, he explains that white privilege is and tells you why you need to acknowledge your white privilege. Jimmy Kittle's writer, Jacob Reed, director, an ad for the campaign, blah, blah, blah. Lanre Idiwu is an immigrant from Nigeria. He's also an actor who works at the DC-based Octet Productions. He has many intimate pictures with the Obamas and the Bidens. Idiwu, who is bisexual, has done gay-for-pay movies. And in The Man for Kamala ad, he says he is man enough to braid his daughter's hair, but the only problem is that he doesn't have a daughter. Idiwu isn't braiding anyone's hair. Then Mike Leffingwell, a gay man, also works at the Upright Citizens Brigade, where McQueen works. He is an acting coach, cartoon writer for Netflix and DreamWorks, and an actor in TV commercials. On his public Instagram page, he showcases his participation in his latest project, The Man for Kamala ad. Oh, God.
Nobody's taking that seriously. Come on.
Winston Carter, the heavy-set fellow in the ad who claims to be a mechanic and rancher, lives in Los Angeles, signed with Taft Broadcasting Company. He has found limited success in the acting world, mainly as an extra in films and as a character in the low-budget superhero film Spaghetti Man. Tony Ketchum, the tough, rugged, bearded grandpa in the garage in the Men for Kamala ad, is also an actor. He now mainly does low-budget independent films like Carbots, where he played the role of Peepaw. Tony is unmarried in real life. In 2001, he played an extra role in Alcoholic Consumer in the movie Ghost World. Okay.
Man.
Is there a pattern here? Like unmarried, gay, all this? Wow.
You know, I probably should pay more attention to Democrats because, they are like the evil, but like,
I love this meme.
How do I riff on this? Because like the joke is already written. Like, if you can't pick this up, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I don't want you to listen to me if you can't look at that.
I love this meme
and assess it,
dude. Yeah.
My God.
I'm sharing this.
Good day, fellow men. Nothing like sports games, right, fellow? Please.
The fact this was made to, I guess, appeal to an audience that's maybe not voting for Kamala Harris.
I don't know.
That's
I don't think there's
it's
many
insane.
undecided. I don't think there's many undecided voters. There's either people who there's a very, 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 very small faction of people who are going for the Libertarian or Jill Stein. There's the other third of the American populace is probably going to go for Kamala, and then the other third of the population is going to go for Trump, and then the other third that isn't that little small amount are just not voting.
Right.
That's the way it goes.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's about how it is in every election too. You always got that tiny sliver that's going to vote for the third parties, but it's either going to be an absolute. Well, I don't want to say bloodbath because people take that seriously, but it's either going to be that or it's going to be like crazy close. And I'm not sure. I'm at the point where I feel like I know where it's going to go, but I felt that way last election and I was wrong. So I don't want to be wrong this time.
Yeah, pretty much all my electoral predictions over the last 2 years have been completely wrong. So I have an idea, but I'm perfectly willing to say that, hey, I was wrong. I don't know.
Same.
So
yeah.
We'll see how it goes. All right. I guess let's call her there. Mental point of origin. And we actually did talk about the topic quite a bit. So if anybody has a problem with it, if we did or didn't, right there for you. Everybody, let's go ahead and do plugs. Gov, you good? Go first, and then we'll do Dave and then Jack.
Well, my Twitter is wrong way right there. And I've got a Substack. I usually just post it on Twitter. You can find it there. I'm working on another article right now. I've got a couple ideas cooking, so there's that. And then my YouTube is slowly but surely going to come back to life with some game streaming and hopefully some actually good topics like this one today. This is what's motivating me to start going again. So I appreciated this.
Nice. Dave, go ahead, bro.
Scar Thumb Podcast every Sunday. I do have a Substack, but I might put out some stuff on it. Try to get that going regularly. But just search for Scar Thumb on Substack. It's there.
Nice. Jack?
New Substack is out. Women will tell you the truth, but you're just not listening. If you be so kind, please go check that out. We are almost at 700 subscribers on Substack. 10 more to go. And please go follow me there. Go read it. Tell me what you think. I really appreciate the feedback. I really do. So
nice.
Link is in the chat.
Well, I read it earlier this morning, and I definitely dig it and recommend everybody else check it out too. Siege, thank you for the super chat. Aggrieved Diplodocus, hopefully I said that right. Thank you. Stripper, thank you so much for the very, very kind 50 Canadian. And Dark Knight Dev for the $5 cuck article. Fuck you, Sydney Watson. Thank you so much. And I think that's post zero for this week. So everybody, thank you so much for listening. I'm at Kalmatovic on Twitter. That's MATOVCIK. And acommoncrown.com and Liberty and Health this week. I have my buddy Will Porter coming on. And I think that will be it. All right, everybody.
Take us out with the old intro.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can do that.
Bye, guys.
Yeah, here we go.